As I continue down this rabbit hole of Ben Shapiro's content, today we'll be reacting to Congresswoman tries to call Ben Shapiro racist, regrets it immediately. That's a big claim, man.
Mr. Shapiro, you talked about white privilege. And just this week, I had a conversation with Rachel Lazar, who's done some work, a Jewish American woman who's done some work on this area, as well as having extensive conversations with Dr. Greg Parks of Wake Forest University, who's also talked quite a bit about critical race theory. And it's my understanding that white privilege is not telling individuals that they cannot speak, but it is a term for societal privilege that individuals have as a benefit of their white skin. And I don't think that, and I think universities would be remiss to then say that because you're white, you're not allowed to say anything that's critical of white people. I didn't know that white privilege actually went into that sphere. My understanding is it's just, and the issue is that white privilege makes people uncomfortable to talk about the societal privilege that they have.
Well, to me,
Well, before I listen to Ben, being a black man, as we can all tell, white privilege, in my opinion, does exist because there are certain things we've seen white people do and be able to get away with. But I think what the challenge is how defining it. Because I think when you have a privilege, when you have the ability to do something and you don't know what you have, because the thing is, you don't know what you have. It's the people who don't have what you have who can be like, you have this. And then it's about being willing to learn and being like, what do you mean? Show me. And then people can actually show you, because all these two things are just lived experiences at the end of the day.
what I say on campuses all the time is if you want to cite instances of racism that we can all find and fight together, that's something that I'm more than willing to stand next to you and fight, because that's obviously stuff that we should fight together. But when you just say that there is a white privilege out there in the ether and that by dint of birth your skin color generates for you an advantage, what you're really saying to people is that your view is less valuable because you have not experienced what I've experienced. And that is an identity argument, that's a character argument, that's not a rational political argument that can actually be taken on in any way. It's more of a cudgel and a club than it is an attempt to open a discussion.
Well, I think it's a demonstrable evidence that through society's demographics that being white has societal privileges that being black does not. But
we can talk about how that manifests, because that's
I'm also interested in what you just said now, was that you would stand next to anyone who has this. So, Mr. Shapiro, my question to you is, for Ms. Dunston, the tying the noose around the campus and writing messages that target African-American young students, would you consider that hate speech, and then would you stand next to her and fight for her?
As I say, I would. This is the first I'm hearing about it, honestly. But
really,
yeah. But from hearing about it, maybe because it's local. I mean, I'm from LA. But in any case, I'm more than happy to stand alongside her and fight whatever group was responsible for this. Not only more than happy. I mean, you're talking about the alt-right. Again, I was the #1 target of anti-Semitic harassment from the alt-right last year. So I'm more than happy to do all that. And I think there's one more distinction that has to be made. When we talk about cases like Taylor's, they're horrific, and the administration is siding with Taylor. Okay, the administration is doing the right thing by Taylor, or trying to do the right thing by Taylor, as they should be. And I think that we need to make a distinction between cases where the administration is actively participating in the suppression of speech and cases in which the administration is trying to do the right thing in order to punish people for application of crime.
Facts. The thing is, like I was trying to explain, it's a difficult thing, and Ben Shapiro does introduce a factual fact, I would say. Like, it's not a political issue, it's more of a lived experience, in whereby you can't really be like, hey, this is the tangible impact of what white privilege is. But I think that the thing that happens is, let's say, for example, male privilege. Let's talk about male privilege. If two men are talking and the woman is like, hey, that was misogynistic, and another man says, hey, to a guy, that was misogynistic, a man is likely to listen to another man, than they would listen to a woman, which then shows that essence of privilege, of that the privilege is just the respect that you garner by just being a man. When it's a white person and a black person, it's It's the way the world treats you. It's the way that you can speak your mind. It's not that it's your fault that me as a black person, I can't speak my mind. It's just that I know there are consequences to actions which seem for white people don't exist. You know, you've seen how they would scream in Starbucks, they would scream at a barista, they'll slap a barista without expecting consequences. Whereas for me, I have to think like, hey, if I do anything stupid, that's the end for me, right? That's where the privilege exists from. And then what tends to happen a lot of times is they'll say, people like Ben Shapiro will be like, oh, show me where this is a factual thing. It's like, it's a lived experience. It's my lived experience, which I cannot factually show you because it's something that happens day to day to a point whereby it's normal. It's normal for you to live your life without expecting consequences for the things that you say, like he just said in that point. But on the other hand, is if I show I'm smart, it's like, damn, we got to break him down, you know? So you cannot dismiss another person's lived experience because it is their lived experience. But what I feel is a conversation has to happen and okay, whereby people are willing to understand rather than just feel attacked. And that should be the goal of communication, to understand and build and move forward. There has to be a need to move forward, not just to be like, look at me, look at what's happening, look at what's happening. It's a matter of, oh, this is what's happening. How do we solve this? How do we move forward? Those are the type of conversations I'm interested in, and I think that should be happening. With that said, see you guys in the next one.